Looking gray. I hate so bad looking gray. How are you guys tonight? Another week, another show, another stream, another week of news and nonsense and everything else. Hi Samuel. Hi Suka. Hi Yakub. Hello Robbie. I haven't seen you in a long time, Robbie. Hi. Hello Fionn. Hi Larry. Hi Zilich. Hi Zilich. Your twin is here. Suka. Your twin is here. Hi Beak. Hello Beak. I'm gonna start calling these two the twins. You guys, when I make reference to the twins, you guys know who I'm talking about. Let me get my glasses. All right, there we go. That's a lot better. Hi Tim. Welcome in, Tim. Are you dressed for a seance? What do you mean a seance? Hi MT. My new name is January 6th, pronounced Jane. Awesome. Okay, so it is January the 6th, as you guys know. Hello, Thomas. It is January the 6th, and we spoke about this a long time ago. I told you guys that on January 6th, they were going to make all these reruns of January 6th to remind people why they shouldn't vote for Trump and why Trump is the evil, evil man who's going to make everybody make an insurrection against the, you know what I mean? So in case you guys didn't know, Joe Biden got out of his little ice cream paradise and came out to speak to the country. I want to show you guys something. I'm going to pull it up right now. Hold on. You guys are right. I should have this stuff pulled up for you guys already, but I get so busy with things that I'm not sure which one I'm going to do. But here we go. Here is another. Okay, here it is. So here is what Joe Biden said today, and I want to watch it with you all together. Just a little bit of it. We won't watch the full thing because he's very, very. He's like a lullaby. Okay, he will make us all go to sleep, but yeah. January 6th, Puniti. But anyway, Zealot says, Suka, what's good? My brother from another mother or my sister from another mister? Anyway, guys, hi, Shadow. Welcome in, Shadow. So let's do it. I mean, why should we waste any time, right? Let's just get right into it, right? All right, so I'm going to pull it up now. You guys talk about the eyes, but I tell you, I have to wear glasses. If you guys don't know, I am blind. Like, I am blind. And that's the reason why I end up like this. But anyway, I'm very blind. And a lot of you guys know that, but some of you guys don't. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen with you all so you all can check this out. Joe Biden speaking about January the 6th and warning Americans why we shouldn't vote for Trump because of January the 6th.
Thank you. Please. Thank you.
Oh, you guys missed this part. So I don't know if this video is kind of quiet to you all. I'm going to wear my... I want to show you guys something really quickly before we start this. I want to show you guys something. So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear me with these on, but I got these as a gift, not for Christmas, but these are a gift. It's Dolce & Gabbana, but they have, here, I'll show you. Let me pull it up. Dolce & Gabbana headset. Has anybody tried these? I don't even know if they're good. I haven't used them because why would I use name brand headset? It doesn't make sense. But it was a gift and a lovely gift at that. So let's see how they work. And I want you guys to tell me if you guys can hear me when I plug it into the computer. Tell me if you guys can hear me, okay? Let's see. Sorry. All right, I'm gonna plug them in. All right, here we go. So, all right, you guys have to tell me if you can hear me. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Tell me if you guys can hear me. Here, I'm gonna try the video and see if I can hear them. I can't even hear the video through these. Maybe they're not plugged in right. Hold on. I hear something. No, it's not working. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this. I just want to see if I can get this to go right. Would it be digital headphones, guys? I'm trying. I don't even know. It's not working. I don't think it's gonna work. Let me see. Yeah, no, it's not working. Okay, well, I tried. It's not working. But I think I have to use it just for music or something, but it's not working like this. All right, so I'll just play the video. It's a little bit low. You guys can hear me. Yeah, but you guys can hear me, but I think you guys are hearing me from the speaker that I'm speaking to inside the computer. You guys aren't hearing me from the headset. So, okay, all right, here we go. I'm gonna pull it back up now. There we go, and let's see.
Thank you.
People are chatting 4 more years, 4 more years, and let me tell you, there's only like 3 people in that audience chatting or chanting rather 4 more years, 4 more years. You know they had to pay these people to say that. There's no way that there's anybody in this country who wants 4 more years of this trash that we have going on in America. But nonetheless, here we go. It's all propaganda, but
Thank you. Please. Thank you. Please. Thank you very, very much. Today, the topic of my speech today is deadly serious. And I think it needs to be made at the outset of this campaign. In the winter of 1777, was harsh and cold as the Continental Army marched to Valley Forge. General George.
When he said in the winter of, what is it called, 1777, in the winter of 1777, when I was just a boy, you know he was alive back then. You guys know that. He was probably just a boy, but he was alive. But anyway, sorry, I just had to.
George Washington knew he faced the most daunting of tasks, to fight and win a war against the most powerful empire existent in the world at the time. His mission was clear: liberty, not conquest; freedom, not domination; national independence, not individual glory. America made a vow: never again would we bow down to a king. Months ahead would be incredibly difficult.
And you guys see where this is going? America made a promise that never again will we bow down to a king. This is what they do to Trump. They always try to accuse Trump of wanting to be a king or acting like a king. Go on.
General Washington knew something in his bones, something about the spirit of the troops he was leading, something about the soul of the nation he was struggling to be born. In his general order, he predicted, and I quote, "With one heart and one mind, with fortitude and with patience, they would overcome every difficulty," the troops he was leading. And they did. They did. This army that lacked blankets and food, clothes and shoes, this army.
Wait, did he say the army that lacks blankets? He said blankets, didn't he? Did nobody hear that? Wait, just let me hear it. Let me hear it.
And they did. They did. This army that lacked blankets and food, clothes and shoes.
Oh, he said
this army whose march left bloody bare footprints in the snow. This ragtag army made up of ordinary people. Their mission, George Washington declared, was nothing less than a sacred cause. That was the phrase he used, a sacred cause. Freedom, liberty, democracy, American democracy. I just visited the grounds of Valley Forge. I've been there a number of times from the time I was a Boy Scout years ago. You know, it's the very site that I think every American should visit because it tells a story of the pain and the suffering and the true patriotism it took to make America. Today, we gather in a new year, some 246 years later, just one day before January 6th. A day forever shared in our memory because it was on that day that we nearly lost America, lost it all. Today, we're here to answer the most important of questions. Is democracy still America's sacred cause? I mean it. This is not rhetorical, academic, or hypothetical. Whether democracy is still America's sacred cause is the most urgent question of our time. And it's what the 2024 election is all about. The choice is clear. Donald Trump's campaign is about him, not America, not you. Donald Trump's campaign is obsessed with the past, not the future. He's willing to sacrifice our democracy, put himself in power. Our campaign is different. For me and Kamala, our campaign is about America. It's about you. It's about every age and background.
Wait. So he says Donald Trump's America is all about him. It's not about America. It's only about him. And he's constantly thinking about the past instead of looking forward. Our campaign and our administration is all about you, all the different ones of you, ages, backgrounds, and so on and so forth. So if that were the case, then why are Americans struggling more now than ever before? Why is it that, well, I guess I'll just let you guys watch it. I'll let you guys watch some more. But you guys see the irony in all of this.
Occupy this country. It's about the future. We're going to continue to build together. And our campaign is about preserving and strengthening our American democracy. 3 years ago tomorrow, we saw with our own eyes the violent mob storm the United States Capitol. Almost in disbelief as you first turned on the television. For the first time in our history, insurrectionists had come to stop the peaceful transfer of power in America. First time. Smashing windows, shattering doors, attacking the police. Outside, gallows were erected as the MAGA crowd chanted, "Hang Mike Pence." Inside, they hunted for Speaker Pelosi. The House was chanting as they marched through and smashed windows, "Where's Nancy?" Over 140 police officers were injured.
Get that wench.
Jill and I attended.
Listen. I know he's trying to be serious about this, but all I can think about when he's saying all these things is, get that wench, get that wench. Where is the witch of the West? We were witch hunting that day, supposedly. Supposedly it was us who were out there witch hunting because we're so heartbroken that our leader in chief, Lord Trump, remember that guy, that sovereign citizen who was praying to Trump? Remember that guy? Our sovereign leader, Lord Trump, that he was being replaced with a potato. We couldn't take it. And he's right. He won fair and square. America, this is what America wanted. He is the face of America.
And at the funeral, police officers who died as a result of the events of that day. Because of Donald Trump's lies, they died because these lies brought a mob to Washington. He promised it would be wild, and it was. He told the crowd to fight like hell, and all hell was unleashed. He promised he would right them. Everything they did, he would be side by side with them. Then, as usual, he left the dirty work to others. He retreated to the White House. As America was attacked from within, Donald Trump watched on TV in a private small dining room off the Oval Office. The entire nation watched in horror. The whole world watched in disbelief. And Trump did nothing. Members of his staff, members of his family, Republican leaders who were under attack at that very moment, pled with him. Act. Call off the mob. Imagine had he gone out and said, stop.
What?
Still,
wait. Imagine if he had gone out and said, stop. Wasn't it true that he came out with the video shortly after knowing what was going on there and pleaded with his people, his followers? Supposedly, it was his followers who did this, supposedly, but I still don't believe it was. But didn't he make a video saying, please be peaceful, please go back home. If you're out there to cause mayhem and chaos, I urge you to go home. Stop. Didn't he say that? Why do they act like these things don't happen, like we don't have videos of these events? Why do they act like this is gaslighting 101? You don't really know what happened. I'm the one who knows what happened, and I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, and you're going to forget that narrative that they put in your head, because the one that I'm telling you is the truth. This is gaslighting 101.
Was among the worst derelictions of duty by a president in American history. An attempt to overturn a free and fair election by force and violence. A record 81 million people voted for my candidacy.
Are you sure about that? A record 81 million votes were all for you. But yet Americans don't come out for you. They don't come stand with you. They don't even come to your speeches. They can't, half of them can't understand you. You're racist as all hell. You know, talking about how you're not black if you don't vote for him. And I know kids that are just as smart and just as bright as white kids. Black kids are just as smart as white kids. Really? You guys didn't understand what the real saying was. I forgot what it was. It was something like poor kids are just as smart as white kids or something like that. Come on. And then he really believes, I know he doesn't really believe this, but I want it to really come out, the truth. I want that truth to come out. And everybody knows that we're getting inching closer to the day when all of that stuff is going to be released. Oh, speaking of that, guys, we have something to talk about a little bit later, the Epstein list. Okay. We're going to talk about the Epstein list a little bit later, but for now, let's just stay on this potato head.
Trump lost the popular vote by 7 million.
Oh, really?
Trump's claims about the 2020 election never could stand up in court. Trump lost 60 court cases, 60. Trump lost the Republican-controlled states. Trump lost before a Trump-appointed judge, and then judges. And Trump lost before the United States Supreme Court. All of it.
He did not.
Trump lost recount after recount after recount and state after state. But in desperation and weakness, Trump and his MAGA followers went after election officials who ensured your powers as citizens would be heard. These public servants had their lives forever upended by attacks and death threats for simply doing their jobs. In Atlanta, Georgia, a brave black mother and her daughter, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, were doing their jobs as electing workers until Donald Trump and his MAGA followers targeted and threatened them, forcing them.
You notice how he had to point out that lady's race. I'm going to go back just like 10 seconds. You notice how he had to point out that lady's race. He's like, this brave black woman and these MAGA followers. So okay, hear it out. By the way, that was no mistake. His writers, because you know that's not actually him speaking. Whatever Biden is saying is not actually him. These are his writers' words. These are the people that move his strings as a puppet. These are the people's words who are writing. It's not his words. He doesn't know what the heck he's talking about right now. All he knows is what they told him to say.
Freeman and Shay Moss were doing their jobs as electing workers until Donald Trump and his MAGA followers targeted and threatened them, forcing them from their homes and unleashing racist vitriol on them. Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, who was just hit with a $148 million judgment for cruelty and defamation that he inflicted against them. Other state and local elected officials across the country faced similar personal attacks. In addition, Fox News agreed to pay a record $787 million for the lies they told about voter fraud. Let's be clear about the 2020 election. Trump exhausted every legal avenue available to him to overturn the election, every one. But the legal path just took Trump back to the truth, that I'd won the election and he was a loser.
Lol. That's a brave claim. Look at the face that he makes when guys, look at this face. Look at the face of this winner. He just got finished saying he just didn't want to accept the truth that I won the election fair and square. 81 million votes all for me. Look at the face. That is the face of a winner, guys. America, this is your winner. Look at that face of competency, that face of just, when I look at Biden's face like this, I really see a man who is determined, who's intelligent, who has lots of thoughts going on behind those eyes. Yes, they're squinting. I know that they're squinting because he's confused and, but he's really confused about why people don't understand why he's so amazing. That's what he's confused about. It's not that he's confused about life and, where's the ice cream at? That's not what he's thinking. He's pondering life as it is, and we wouldn't know anything about that.
Well, so knowing how his mind works now, he had one act left, one desperate act available to him: the violence of January the 6th. And since that day, more than 1,200 people have been charged for their assault on the Capitol. Nearly 900 of them have been convicted or pled guilty. Collectively, to date, they have been sentenced to more than 840 years in prison. What's Trump done? Instead of calling them criminals, he's called these insurrectionists patriots. They're patriots. And he promised to pardon them if he returns to office. Trump said that there was a lot of love on January the 6th. The rest of the nation, including law enforcement, saw a lot of hate and violence. One Capitol police officer called it a medieval battle. That same officer was called vile racist names. He said he was more afraid in the capital of the United States of America, in the chambers, than when he was fighting as a soldier in the war in Iraq.
Well, that means he must be a punyeti. If you're more scared of Americans out there demanding clarity, demanding recounts, demanding justice, because they understand that nobody was voting for this, and that makes you more scared than being in Iraq or at war, then I'm sorry to say, sir, you must be a large punyeti. Punyeti.
He was more afraid inside the halls of Congress than fighting in the war in Iraq. And trying to rewrite the facts of January 6th, Trump is trying to steal history the same way he tried to steal the election. But we knew the truth because we saw it with our own eyes. This wasn't like something, a story being told. It was on television repeatedly. We saw it with our own eyes. Trump's mob wasn't a peaceful protest. It was a violent assault. They were insurrectionists, not patriots. They weren't there to uphold the Constitution. They were there to destroy the Constitution. Trump won't do what an American president must do. He refuses to denounce political violence. So hear me clearly. I'll say what Donald Trump won't. Political violence is never, ever acceptable in the United States political system. Never, never, never. It has no place in a...
He almost had it right. He almost was able to get out a clear sentence, but as soon as he got excited, he said, never, never, America, blah, blah, blah. And then it never, ever, hear it again.
Do what an American president must do. He refuses to denounce political violence. So hear me clearly. I'll say what Donald Trump won't. Political violence is never, ever acceptable in the United States political system. Never, never, never. It has no place in a democracy, none. You can't be pro-insurrectionist and pro-American.
He's mad.
Trump and his MAGA supporters not only embrace political violence, but they laugh about it. At his rally, he jokes about an intruder whipped up by the big Trump lie, taking a hammer to Paul Pelosi's skull and echoing the very same words used on January 6th. Where's Nancy?
This doesn't look like Joe Biden. I'm sorry, guys. This does not look like Joe Biden to me. How is it that Joe Biden's face keeps changing every couple of months? You know what I mean? Something is not right. This does not look like him. I mean, is it that he's getting older and that's just the natural process? It just doesn't look like him. Something is different. I can't put my finger on it.
And he thinks that's funny. He laughed about it. What a sick... My God. I think it's despicable, seriously. Not just for a president, for any person to say that. But to say it to the whole world listening. When I was overseas, anyway. Oh, yeah. Trump's assault on democracy isn't just part of his past. It's what he's promising for the future. He's being straightforward. He's not hiding the ball. His first rally for the 2024 campaign opened with a choir of January 6th insurrectionists singing from prison on a cell phone. While images of the January 6th riot...
Wait. Did he just call that man an insurrectionist? Wait. How is he allowed to do that? That man, no one has been charged with insurrection. You just called this man an insurrectionist. from jail. And he hasn't been charged with that. That's like calling somebody, that's like convicting somebody before going to trial. You can't do that. And he's allowed to say that. He's calling this man an insurrectionist, which is like accusing someone of treason with no actual. Okay, all right. He's allowed to do this, but let him have his moment. Let him cook, as they say. As on Lapeef, they said, let him cook.
Played on a big screen behind him at his rally. Can you believe that? This is like something out of a fairy tale, bad fairy tale. Trump began his 2024 campaign by glorifying the failed violent insurrection on our Capitol. The guy who claims law and order sows lawlessness and disorder. Trump's not concerned about your future, I promise you. Trump is now promising a full-scale campaign of revenge and retribution, his words, for some years to come. They were his words, not mine.
Well, he deserves that. He deserves that revenge, Biden. Wouldn't you want a little bit of revenge? Wouldn't you want a little bit of your hit back? If all the things that has been happening to him, his family, his businesses, his life, his houses, his kid, or rather his kids, if everything that happened to him was happening to you, wouldn't you want your lick back? Are you serious? He's leading a campaign for revenge. No, that's part of it. It is part of it. Yeah, I'm not even going to lie. I think a little bit of revenge is needed. I think it's well deserved. Don't you, America? Don't you?
He'd be a dictator on day one. I mean, if I write in a book of fiction, I said an American president said that. And not in jest. He called in, I quote, the termination, quote, this is a quote, the termination of all the rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the U.S. Constitution, should be terminated if it fits his will. It's really kind of hard to believe.
What did he say?
Even found in the Constitution, he could terminate? He's threatened the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff with the death penalty. Says he should be put to death because the chairman put his oath to the Constitution ahead of his personal loyalty to Trump. This is coming from a president who called, when he visited cemeteries, called dead soldiers suckers and losers. Remember that?
Ooh, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Guys, did you guys see that? Did you see that? Oh my. You guys know what? They told him to make a face. Watch this. Let's watch that again. They told him to make a face when he says this. Now watch. Oh my gosh. Wait. Why is my computer going crazy? Hold on. Wait. Can you guys still see the screen? Because my tab just left. Hold on. Wait. Let me try to put it back. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. One sec. There it is. All right. So here we go. I'm going to go back a couple seconds, like 10 seconds. Here we go. Watch his face.
Who called, when he visited cemeteries, called dead soldiers suckers.
Watch.
And losers. Remember that?
Ooh. Look at him. What was he squeezing? Tell me. Joe Biden, I wouldn't recommend you try to grind your teeth like that. You don't want your dentures to fall out or have a mishap. Be careful.
Sometimes I'm really happy the Irish of me can't be seen. It was right around the time I was at Bo's grave, Tommy. How dare he? Who in God's name does he think he is? With former aides, Trump plans to invoke the Insurrection Act, which will allow him to deploy, which is not allowed to do in ordinary circumstances, allow him to deploy U.S. military forces on the streets of America. He said it. He calls those who oppose him vermin. He talks about the blood of America as being poisoned, echoing the same exact language used in Nazi Germany. He proudly posts on social media the words that best describe his 2024 campaign, quote, revenge, quote, power, and quote, dictatorship. There's no confusion about who Trump is.
No. So Trump does all these things to troll. He trolls the media. He trolls Joe Biden. And look at them. They're taking all of this for word. They're like, oh, did you hear what he said? Dictatorship. Did you hear what he said? He's trolling you. Slowness. Mr. Slowness. He's trolling you. And you don't get it because okay, whatever. I'm sorry, it's not even him. I can't even say it's him. It's your writers. It's his writers that are saying this. So his writers don't get the jokes, of course, because, yeah, his liver spots are gone. You know what I mean? His face, that's what I'm noticing. There it is. His face doesn't look the same. And I know they wear makeup sometimes, but why is it that the other times, even with makeup, you can still see all of his imperfections on his face? The dark spots, as they call it, liver spots, whatever. They're not there anymore. Now he's baby-faced. This is not Joe Biden. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist. It just doesn't look like him.
I placed my hand on our family Bible, and I swore an oath on the very same steps of the Capitol, just 14 days after the attack on January the 6th. As I looked out over the capital city, whose streets were lined with National Guard to prevent another attack, I saw an American that had been pushed to the brink, America that had been pushed to the brink. But I felt enormous pride, not in winning, I felt enormous pride in America, because American democracy had been tested. American democracy had held together. When Trump had seen weakness in our democracy and continues to talk about it, I saw strength, your strength. It's not hyperbole, your strength, your integrity, American strength and integrity.
It wasn't weakness in democracy. I'm tired of listening to this guy. Did you guys get enough? Do you guys hear enough of him? I'm tired of listening to him. He said that Trump saw weakness in our democracy or something like that. That's not at all what he's saying. Hold on. I'm trying to fix the screen so I can go back to full screen. It's not doing it. Come on. No, I can't make my screen full anymore. There has to be a way. Nope. It's not going back now. Man. All right. Well, let me take away the background because the background is distracting me. How about that? That's not nice either. I don't like it. Let's do mine. Let's do my background. But anyway, I was going to tell you guys this Joe Biden. So I told you guys this was going to happen. I told you guys that the media was going to run these videos and all about January 6th and so on and so forth. I'm going to show you one more. Okay, because I'm not going to show you all of them. I'm not going to show you every single one of these because it's too much. It's too much. But this is another one that came out today. All of these, what I'm talking about, came out today. The Joe Biden speech came out yesterday. And I'm going to show you guys another one that came out today as well. There were plenty of videos talking about January 6th, January 6th. Here you go.
That hit our television screens January 6, 2021. Tomorrow. Images and sounds that are still hard to forget that hit our television screens January 6, 2021. Tomorrow marks 3 years since rioters charged the United States Capitol building, hoping to overturn the results of the 2020 election.
As of December, more than 1,200 people have been arrested in connection to the attack. That's according to data from the Justice Department.
One of those, former President Donald Trump. He's been indicted on a few different charges. Been indicted on a few different charges, including a charge to obstruct an official proceeding. Now, in the indictment, the special counsel directly quotes the former president's own words from the rally before the insurrection.
If Mike Pence does the right thing, we win the election.
Now, the indictment claims that the former president directly told the crowd to go to the Capitol to pressure Mike Pence to change the outcome. The former president did not join in the march. He returned to the White House where he watched the riot on TV. Federal trial is set to begin March 4th. And Mr. Trump also faces state charges of obstruction in both Georgia and New York, which he says are politically motivated attacks against him.
Just so you guys know, I know I was muted. I needed to see something, that was all. But I wanted to tell you guys, all you see is all these little clips, and you see they're just showing all this violence and saying that, Trump is psychotic. Trump is looking for power. He's power hungry, and that's the reason why all that stuff happened and so on and so forth. When I see this, I just see a desperate attempt to get people to be scared to vote for Trump. And I don't think it's going to work, because I don't think there's anything more scary than what Americans are dealing with today in America, of not knowing if they're going to have enough money to fill their gas tank because gas is so high, if they're not going to have enough money to put food on the counter this week, if they're not going to have enough money to pay electricity bills. I think that's more scary than people being upset at the Capitol. I'm sorry. I think these people are completely out of touch with modern America or how America feels today. And they really think that this is going to scare people, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We were wrong before, right? We assumed back in 2020 that this wouldn't happen, that we wouldn't see America be corrupted and see all of this 81 million votes for Biden and so on. We know it's not real. But we thought we would never see it, and we were wrong. So nothing's going to surprise me now, honestly. There's really nothing that's going to surprise me. I don't know about you guys, but it makes me really upset to see this. Let me drink some water. Let me have a sip of water. Hold on one second, guys. I want you guys to see something else. I'm going to give you... Oh, do you guys remember last week I had a thumbnail for a show for you guys, and I didn't even do the show that I had planned for you guys. So I'm going to do it. If you guys want me to do it tonight, after this stream, I'll turn off the stream. I'll come back, and then we can do the stream that we were supposed to do last week. I didn't even remember until after I turned off the stream. Larry came to me and said, "You didn't even do the show that you put on the thumbnail." And I was like, so I'm sorry I did that, guys. It was about a sovereign citizen. It was a sovereign citizen, and we'll watch it together. But anyway, back to politics. What do you guys think about what I showed you? I'm gonna open up the panel. You guys can come and chat with me if you like. I'm gonna put the link into the chat, so you guys can come chat with me if you like. And I also have a list that I want to tell you. That I want to get to you guys. There we go. For now, I'm going to do the news. Are you guys ready for the news? Because it might be worse than what we just saw, but here we go. See, this is why I wear my dark lenses, because my eyes are so blind and every light bothers me, and I just can't do it. Oh my gosh, I got an email. Somebody's offering me. Wow. Somebody's offering me a chance at something on YouTube. I'm sorry, I didn't look at my emails today. Hold on. It says your videos need to be on page to promote. They're asking me to promote a targeted audience of somebody. Wow. They are saying that they're going to. So it's a trade-off. If I do a promotion for them, they are going to increase my. I guess they're saying they're going to increase my visibility online. I don't think you want to do that, company. I don't think this company knows what my content is. I would accept your offer, but I think you're going to regret it. Okay? I don't think you know what my content is. I think I ought to stay by myself. What do you guys think, Pride? Do you guys think that your lioness is marketable on the world stage? Do you guys believe that I don't know. Do you maybe I'm hard on myself. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think I'm marketable? Because I don't think I am. No, stop it. I think I'm going to stay independent. Exactly, William. Thank you, William. Be honest. I'm not. You guys know I'm not. Because as soon as tell them to pay up first. Exactly. William said don't do it. They hate us. Exactly. I think the thing is they see that I'm not white male. I'm not some white male, and they probably see that I'm Muslim because of my description on my channel. So they're probably like, she's Muslim, she's probably brown, she's probably a Democrat, she's probably one of us, because we all know that those Muslims wouldn't go to the conservatives because, of course, the conservatives don't like the Muslims. So they'd be scared of them. So we can get her on our team. And then the moment that I open my mouth, I'll be fired. So I think in order to avoid the inevitable firing that will happen, I think I'll just stay off on my own. I think people like myself need to stay by myself, or I need to be with people who are like me. If it's not a conservative group, I won't be able to join it. No. OnlyFans. Yeah. Check me out on OnlyFans. Stupid. I'm joking. You guys know I'm kidding. Stop it. They see Elvira and they see money. Let's get back to the news. Let's go back to the news. All right. Let me get my glasses. All right. Let's get back to the news, shall we? All right. Let me get over here. I'm gonna ignore that email though. I see who you are, person. His name is Naeem. Naeem? Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. I'm going to have to reject and ignore. Here we go. Oh, you guys know why else? Jubilee, they were going to have me on their show as well, the one that Blair White went on. But then they said I was too controversial. So no, I already know how they feel about me. In the news, pay up. Mexican President Andres Obrador says that Biden should fork over the $20 billion to help Latin American countries fight the inflow of illegals into Mexico and America, which, by the way, has hit record numbers, in case anybody doesn't know that. Obrador, the Mexican president, also wants America to grant visas to Latin illegals who have worked in America for more than 10 years, which he reportedly told Biden this during a Mexico City meeting. So I get it. I understand. I get it now. You broke the law. You came to America illegally. But if you were here long enough, we should just forget about your crime and pardon it, because why? Again? Because maybe in 10 years you popped out a few babies, anchors. Why? Because maybe in 10 years you've done some work for construction companies or something. Is that what we're doing? We're pardoning because if you're here long enough, well, you just get pardoned. This is the reason why we're in the situation that we are now. And this is the reason why crime is at an all-time high. We need stricter laws, not more lenient. The Arizona border authorities reported an uptick of illegal aliens from Guinea carrying fake passports. The illegals were under the impression that posing as an unaccompanied minor gave them the best chance to enter this country. It is reportedly believed that the Ghanaian government may be advising these illegals to alter their ages on official passports before, quote unquote, migrating to America. A memo with this warning has backed up proof from an altered passport that was issued after June 2023. Also, one illegal alien told U.S. officials that an illicit group had stolen several blank passports and had been using and selling and issuing them out illegally. Although it was 8:30 a.m., it was fight night on the streets of New York when an illegal alien decided to cut a line of a few illegals, of their fellow illegals, you could say. So these were illegals that were all in a line, and one illegal decided to cut the line in front of the rest of his fellow illegals. They were all waiting to get shelter from an upcoming storm. One man punched the he punched the line cutter, line skipper, line cutter, whatever you want to call him. He punched him in the face, and others joined in on the beatdown. Somehow, the beatdown progresses into an all-out brawl between several people. One illegal told reporters, I quote unquote, I think they're desperate about the situation. It's very bad. There's too many people, and there's not enough opportunities for all of us here. And the cities treat us like animals. You know what? The cities shouldn't be treating you like anything because they shouldn't see you here. You don't belong here. This is the reason. What treatment do you expect? You're not counted for in America. You're not counted for. All right, I'll stop. I got it. Here we go. It says they're treating us like animals. NYPD said the illegals responsible for the brawl are in custody but haven't been charged with a crime. And guess what? They won't be. We're talking about New York City here. We're talking about Gotham City at this point. they're not going to be charged with a crime. They're not. At this point, we need street Batmans, street Supermans, street Captain Americas, because our police are being neutered. Our police, the mayors, the politicians, the Black Lives Matter, you could say, the leftist groups have our police agencies by the balls. So what do you expect? We send them to jail, and then they're out by dinner time. You send them back to jail again, they're out by dessert time. You send them back to jail yet again, and they're out for whore hour, which is any time past midnight. What do you expect? We're not, okay, all right, I'll move on. I haven't seen this type of toddler. It's like we're treating toddlers in America. It's like we don't want to hurt them. You don't want to hurt them too bad, because you might discourage them from good behavior in the future. You know what I mean? You know how some people say don't punish the children too harshly, because then it takes away their self-esteem, and then they can't do anything right after that, and so on. This is how I feel like we're treating criminals, thieves, violent offenders. Hi, Shadu. How are you, Shadu? Are you cutting your toenails? Put your foot.
No, I'm painting a model.
I'm kidding. You know I have to mess with you. How are you?
Doing pretty good. A little bit pissed off about the preschool age reading level our president did his speech in. Oh, bless you. Aside from that, fine.
Tell me, what do you think about what he said? You don't vote for Trump, because if you vote for Trump, it's going to be insurrection every day. And he's not thinking about you. He's thinking about only himself and revenge.
I couldn't get over the fact that Biden was speaking at a preschool level, as well as his understanding of history was less than that of a preschooler.
Well, you know, it wasn't him who wrote that. You know, it wasn't him. He was reading.
I know. Until they admit it, I'll apply it to him. He's a dog-faced pony soldier, to use his words.
I listen, when I saw that, I couldn't wait to show it to you guys. I couldn't wait to show it to you, Pride. I was like, wait until the Pride sees this nonsense to hear what this guy is saying, when in all reality, he was only talking about himself. Exactly, zealot. That's what I was just saying. It was all projection. You're talking about yourself.
Leftists love to project.
Dictator. And well, not everybody. I'm not gonna say everybody, because that would be an absolute. But in America, he is known as the dear leader. People call Biden the dear leader. They never call Trump that.
Also, what I find really funny is, in the case of like the Trump-Biden thing, in his speech, he's like basically confirming that Trump is able to inspire loyalty. Trump is able to inspire leadership. Biden is only able to inspire, I'm not Trump. That's all he's able to do. There's no figurehead, like there's no reason to follow Biden beyond Trump bad. If Biden was going up against like Mitch McConnell is a Republican, right? I'm a little out of date on politics.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, like if it was Mitch McConnell versus Joe Biden, like no one would care, because neither of them inspire anything. They're both parts of the bureaucratic merchant classes that run this country. But Trump is, well, he's still part of that merchant class, but he is not in the same vein. Like, he's a black sheep. People can follow him. He's an ideology, not a...
Hold on, Shadu. Are you reading what I'm reading? Hey, YouTuber posted a video. Wait, Shadu, you hear me? Listen, this is my brother, guys. So this is the reason why. He's my little brother. So anyway, a YouTuber posted a video that 1 in 5 Americans will be of Latino descent by 2060.
I have heard that stat, and I think that was based off some research that was done back in like the 2010. It's been a while since I've heard it, so feel free to correct me in the chat. But I think that's based off some like studies that were found in like 2010, like taking the birth rates into question and stuff like that, and all the illegal immigration. In recent years, I think it was like there was some shift. It wasn't 1 in 5. It was still like white populations going down and other populations are going up, but I don't think it's necessarily Latinos are going to be 1 in 5 anymore. It's been a while since I've seen that stat though, so feel free.
Well, that means America's IQ levels in general are going to drop as well. I'm not saying that Latinos are dumb. I'm not saying that at all. So don't nobody take me wrong.
No.
But it has been proven that certain peoples have higher IQs than others naturally.
Well,
It's been
in
proven.
the case of an IQ test, IQ is testable based on like societies that train for IQ typically do better on IQ tests. All it's basically doing is a memorization of facts and information. So
Right, Samuel. I'm not talking about memory. I'm talking about
Right.
your ability to learn and recognize patterns. That's what IQ is about. It's not saying that you're smart or dumb. I'm talking about your ability to recognize and learn patterns and predict what's next. Does that make sense? That's what IQ is about. It doesn't say
Right.
that. It doesn't mean you're exactly smart. Latino Catholics have babies. White hipsters don't. Guys, when you speak about this, when you're talking about the demographics of America changing drastically for what America was not built as. America was built as a nation that is not about race, of course. America isn't like Japan where you can't be a Japanese if you're not by blood Japanese. America, you can be an American and be of any race, of any culture, what have you. But we have a thing in America wherein we all believe in one thing. This is what makes us American. What makes us American is not our blood, but it is our vision. We have the same vision. We have the same code of honor. This is what makes us American. And all of that is going to be depleted because the people that are coming here are not coming with that code of ethics or they're not coming with that same vision. Their vision is completely different from the American. And as much as I love, listen, I know that I am not, my people are not originally from here, right? I get that. But at the same time, we assimilate, right? We understand that this is America. This is what we learn the Constitution. Who is using my account to make posts? Who is doing this? Because I know I didn't just put this in there. Samuel,
It's me. Yeah.
will you
So,
stop it?
look, you want me to keep posting the link? Right now, my channel's under suspension, so I can't do it under my account.
Oh,
So that's why I've been doing it under yours, because it
wait.
won't
Let
let
me
me put
ask
links
you.
in the chat.
Let me ask you a question. So, because you can't even comment on other people's streams.
No, I can. I just can't put links in the chat.
Oh, okay. I get it. Okay. Thank you. Because I was like, I could have sworn I've seen a comment by you. Okay. Thank you, Samuel.
Mostly admonishing me.
Huh?
I said you said you could have seen him in the chat, and I said, yeah, mostly admonishing me.
Most likely. Will,
Yes.
how are you, Will? Will?
I'm good. Sorry, I was in
What
the
do you
chat.
what do you have on the topics that we're speaking on?
That California has given illegals health care. They
Say that
recently
again.
passed a bill that illegals will be able to get health care in their state, and that's going to make healthcare more expensive because claims are going to go up. So I'm like, that's not helping cost of living.
Well, you know why this demographic is being put. Oh, remember I told you guys the reason why the borders are so porous right now and they're letting all these people in is because election year is this year. They have to get as many people as they can right now in here to get those illegal votes in. They have to. And I don't care what nobody says that, oh, that's not true. Why would they do that? Because they explain to me another reason why our country would welcome foreigners, a foreign invasion, because that's what it is. Let's be real. It is a foreign invasion. Why would we welcome this? What are we gaining? So think about what are we gaining?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. I was just going to say, we as the citizenry class, we gain competition that'll slowly drive us into a state of wage slavery. And the elites gain a pliable population that will listen to them, vote for them, do whatever they deem needs to happen.
Yeah.
Will?
And in places like New York, they're paying these voters for like local elections. Like illegals can vote in local elections, and literally a lot of those officials are literally just paying them like $20 bill just to vote for them. So they can't vote in like national or like for governor, but they can vote for like
Federal.
city council.
Right.
So they're already testing out like how well they can get the Democratic Party machine running.
Yeah.
Is
New
there
Well,
York
anything?
is going
ahead.
crazy right now. New York is taking like a rightward shift, and like the Democrats are mad that it's getting more conservative, even in New York, because the crime is out of control. Even New Yorkers saw like the governor almost lost in 2022 to an outsider.
Yeah, didn't one of AOC's didn't like a senator in like AOC's district flip conservative?
Yeah. I mean, New York had a red wave, and so that was one of the states that Democrats are just so unpopular because people are tired of $1 million houses, crime everywhere, homeless, illegals. I think, and even with the people moving from there to Florida, a lot of the older people, it's still shifting kind of more rightward. So it's like it has to be something deeper than I think it's not being
Yeah.
covered well enough at national level.
Give me a second. Neil says, isn't it currently at 13%? I would expect more than 20 by 2060. No, I think you're thinking about the Black percentage in America, because I know the Latino percentage is higher, much higher than the Black percentage. Correct, guys? Am I right? Okay. Because
that sounds right. I think some aspects of the Latino population gets like tossed under the white label because you've got like Argentinians, for instance, are very
well, no,
similar.
but that's different because in the census they don't click the same thing. They don't check off the same thing. So they have non-Hispanic and
Right.
Hispanic. Yeah. So I think
Okay.
Argentina they don't check Hispanic. I don't
Okay,
think.
gotcha. Never
Just
mind.
like Spaniards don't check Hispanic either. They check European. They're European because obviously Spain is in Europe. So yeah, there is
Hispanics were at 19% as of the last census.
19. You said?
Yeah, 19.1%.
Oh, so then 20% wouldn't be that much of a drastic change, now would it?
Well, but it was also like I think it was also like at the time, it was like a insane change.
He said that the 1 in 5 Americans will be of Latino origin. So
no, I mean
that makes
when the original claim was made, like it was like back in the early 2000s where that was like, no, that's not going to happen, like that, like, or that's like a sign of like major demographic shifts. Like if the Black population was suddenly 20% over like in 5 years, that would be insane.
I got you, Shadow. I got you. What I'm saying is, then that means that it wasn't that big of a deal. So I'm not that scared anymore because I was thinking that it was going to be a lot worse because I was thinking that when they said 1 in 5, I mean, if you look outside right now, I don't see that it's that high, but also I don't live in a Latino area. So I think maybe these are in areas like California, Texas, Arizona, all the areas where most Latinos are, Florida, not in northern areas. Does that make sense? So I don't know. I mean, what can we do, right? White Americans aren't having babies. They're not. They just aren't. And who's the only one having babies? Like, how can you get mad if you're not doing anything about it? White people. Oh, dear white people. If you want to keep your Shadow, listen to me. You're white. Come here. Listen to me. You need.
Okay, I'm listening. There.
I'm like, white people. Shadow.
Yes.
Shadow.
Pay attention, class.
Please get out there. If you guys are worried about your demographics and you're worried about these people taking over, it's getting worse because the border is not being controlled. So you have to think about it. Not only do you have to count the Latinos that are already here, breeding, having more babies, popping out their babies, and hola, ¿cómo estás? Coming out. You have to also consider that the border is porous. So now we have an unfair advantage. They have an unfair advantage at the border. We also, you have to think, white people, Shadow, you have to think, you need to have babies. You need to pop out babies. Shadow, you're 20 years old. You should have at least 3 by now. I don't understand why you are slacking. You are slacking. You should be, listen. You should already have a few. And I don't understand why, but I'll give you a chance. You have a little time. You can start a little bit late, but you can get to it quickly. All you white people, you guys really need to. You better not clip it. Samuel, I will fire you. I will fire you.
Do you even pay him?
Listen, that's not the point. He gave me his soul. He gave me his soul. So that doesn't.
She pays me in beatings.
Him and Larry have given me their souls. Okay. So I don't need to pay a person who gave me their soul. Okay. They are paying me, aren't you? But not Samuel. Gosh, I'm always so yelling at Samuel so much. I need to. Shadow, I'm
Yes.
talking to you. I know you're texting somebody. Listen, unless you're not texting the girl that you're going to be knocking up pretty soon here, you need to listen to me. Shadow, have babies. All you white people in the chat, have your babies. Please have babies and make them proud Americans. Grow them up the American way, because America is going to be a thing of the past, not too much further in the future. People are going to talk about America as this thing that once was, and we already do. How many people do you know who are speaking about America like, man, you remember when America, we didn't have signs in other languages. When we called the bank, we didn't have this press 1 for English, para español, oprime dos. Remember,
There's like 6 languages
literally,
nowadays.
literally, you guys, and do you guys remember a time when America was America? Do you guys remember a time when being white, there was nothing bad about that, because this was your country, this is your place, this is your home? Like, we don't have that anymore. This is gone. The times when the flag, the American flag, was in every classroom and every child stood up at 8:30 a.m. and put their right hands on their chest and said the Pledge of Allegiance. I had to say the Pledge of Allegiance in Spanish. You know how rough that is? I did. I still know how to say it in Spanish. I'm just saying. We shouldn't. Okay. And I don't think that we're going to be able to reverse this, because, and this is why they're so scared of Trump. They're scared of Trump because when Biden said all Trump does is think about the past, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about Trump when Trump references when America used to be great. Yeah. And people always say, well, when was America great? Because I remember not too long ago, there were Black people in slavery. Was that when America was great? No. Well, when was it? Was it when all of this riots was happening for the civil rights? It still was great back then too. But America's greatest time was during the wars, the world wars, when America showed her strength. She showed that her people are brave, brilliant.
Yeah. Hell, even if you want to go back to the period where we did have slavery, that was largely regulated to the regulated to like the southern states, the states that ended up leaving. The North, you saw people fleeing oppression in other parts of the world. I believe around the same time, someone feel free to fact check me this, while you had while industry was being built up in America, you had people fleeing wars in Eastern Europe. You had Jews being driven out of the Ukraine by Cossacks, fleeing to America to build new lives. You had people in China fleeing I believe a Warring States period and building that interconnected railroad from California to the East Coast. We had progress. Yes, a few aristocratic jackasses that lost a kerfuffle in 1860 had slaves. We fixed that. We got rid of them. And then we loaded up a bunch of ships with some of the best fighting men the world has ever seen, and we sent them to Morocco, and we ended the slave trade in North Africa. America has had its issues, but compare us to the rest of human civilization, compare us to the Mughals, compare us to the Mongols, compare us to the Song, compare us to the Romans, compare us to the Greeks, compare us to any other person in history.
Even to the Arabs. I'm Arab, and I can admit that my people were stagnant for the longest time. Now we're slowly starting to progress again, but we stood stagnant. We were just sitting there with our shisha pipes, sitting there just happy and content. But America, and just like Sword of Light says, 1950 was when America was at its peak, and that's when the time when America was great, and that's what Trump is talking about. And I'm going to say something more. It's not 1950. I would say from 1939, 1940 is when it started. All the Hitler times when America was sending Jesse Robinson? No, who was the runner? Jackie? No. Was it? What was his name?
I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
The one who ran in the Olympics and beat
Owens.
Nazis.
Yeah, proved that the
Jesse
Ubermensch
Owens.
is BS.
Thank you. Shadow, shush. Jesse Owens. Thank you, Will. Jesse Owens. That's when America was great, because we were sending our best. We had the best at that time. And I wish I was alive in that time. I really wish I was a boomer. I don't want to be in this generation. Our generation sucks. Sorry, Shadow, but we suck, Shadow. We are Nothing compared to what those before us in this nation were. We are nothing. We could never live their lives. We could never live in their shoes. And they did it all with less resources, less money, less everything, but they still had more pride and vision in their nation. All those railroads that we see, that stuff was built around that time.
Yeah.
Even the
That's
highways.
because they had those struggles. Like, you need to have struggle. You need to have something to achieve. Not like this was pointed out to me. I don't remember who did it, but like they pointed out that my generation, we have a problem, we Google it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to learn from someone. We don't have to problem solve. There's no sense of achievement. Our greatest challenge growing up is getting an A on our test, which is super easy because all of the teachers give extra credit. So basically, just don't cheat and study, and you'll get the test. For sports, and until you get into Texas football, there are no winners. Everyone gets a trophy.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Appreciated.
Yeah, you worked hard. We recognize you.
So there is no reason to achieve excellence. There is no struggle to overcome. And even if like there was no struggle, like even if you have like all the resources you need to exist, we still could at least have achievement. We could still try to be the best runner, the best boxer, the best painter. But you don't have that. We are not measured against one another. We don't believe in stratification. We believe in everyone being equal in every single way. And the removal of that erases the drive for excellence. And I'm going to stop there because I've been talking for a bit.
No, I hear, no, Shadow, I like when you do that. I like when you speak like that because it's good to see it in the younger people. You know what I mean? And Shadow, part of the reason why a lot of us like you is because we have been so let down. A lot of us have been let down looking at people under us. You're not too far under me in age, but even my age, I'm disappointed in my age, and even slightly above my age, because our generations are trash. And it's good to see under me, someone under my age that is thinking like you do. You read, you research, you are arguing with adults, you're arguing with people in their 50s on the panels. And I appreciate that, you know, because a lot of people our age and your age would be more interested in doing something that's easy, more relaxing. It doesn't require much thinking, not that much discussion. Yeah. This is not the type of things that people your age and even my age that we like to do. Typically, we're not doing these things. Girls my age or of my group, they are making makeup videos. They're making... You know, what's the new brand of makeup coming out? Do you guys want to see how I do the new glitter, sparkle, cut eyelash and everything? They're doing that. They're not doing what I'm doing.
TikTok dance tutorials.
What?
Oh, those things were sad. When the girls would show like how to do the famous TikTok videos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The TikTok videos. They're doing TikTok videos. Rachel, you guys remember Rachel? Rachel actually came to me and said, was it like last week? She said, Amira, let's do a TikTok video. You know, I backhanded her, yeah? I was like, what are you talking?
Okay, that's not just a thing that girls do. That's a thing guys in my generation do. And I absolutely loathe it. Or our generation. Sorry, Amira.
Why does guys in your generation do like the girl dances? Like they don't even do guy dances. Like they be twerking and stuff. I'm like, bro,
because
our pride.
Because our public education system has groomed young men to be defective girls.
Yes.
Like, that's the reason why. Like, most young men spend most of their lives in this country away from their father figure. Certain media, mostly Disney and Nickelodeon, portray things like sports and martial prowess as something to mock. Therefore, young men don't pursue that. So they engage in girlish behavior because that is what they are surrounded by, and that is what is proclaimed as a virtue. And that is where you get a lot of these like creepy, freaky weirdos because they've got like they don't know how to act because they're a vegan cat. They want tuna, but they don't know what tuna is. They eat what they're told to eat, but it doesn't feel right.
That was cute.
That's bad.
Oh, he says one of the older ones in here, and I bow to my elders. Somebody has a lot of feedback. I think that's you, Will, or is
no, I think it's Voice of Reason.
Voice of Reason. I'm sorry, Will.
No, it might have been me. Sorry about that.
Oh, I was like,
get it together, Voice of Reason. Get it together.
You're supposed to be the voice of reason, man.
Right. What happened to the voice of reason? Okay, wait. I want to share with you guys something that I said yesterday on Samuel's show. So Samuel had a show yesterday on Twitter, guys, because since he does not have his channel right now on YouTube because Mama Susan is spanking him right now. He's bent over currently with his pants down and getting spanked by Mama Susan. I hope you enjoyed that, Samuel. But anyway, since he's being spanked right now, I'm going to tell you, he was on Twitter and Rumble streaming, and it was wonderful. I was there yesterday. And yesterday we were talking about something similar to what we're talking about today, except we were speaking about taxes. And gosh, that's a whole hour discussion about taxes that we could go into, but I'm not sure we want to right now because I did it yesterday. I don't really want to do it again today because I'm going to end up with a headache. Wait, Shadow. Anyway, so then what I wanted to tell you guys was this. Do you guys remember the movie The Matrix?
Yeah.
You remember the movie The Matrix? And in The Matrix, Trinity and Neo were on top of this building. Yeah, they were being chased and they were trying to get away. And all they had was a helicopter on top of the building. And Neo said, let's go into the helicopter, you know? And Trinity said, yeah, let's go. And then Neo said, wait, but none of us know how to fly a helicopter. He looked at her and said, none of us know how. And then Trinity said, hold on. She made some kind of a call or she programmed something. I don't really remember all the details, but she did this eye fluttery thing. She closed her eyes and her eyes were fluttering and twitching and going crazy. And then she opened her eyes again and said, I know how to fly a helicopter. Let's go. Do you guys remember? That was the instant microwave downloading of information that made us able to do something quickly. That is kind of what we have right now in America, except we're not learning genuinely. We're not learning by trial and error, you could say. The most of us, the majority of us, we're just learning we just pick up a phone and someone tells us what to do. And then we'll forget how to do it tomorrow because we didn't actually genuinely learn it through practice and teachers in school. We just learned it for that moment and now we moved on. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, people learn to just consume and pass the time, but not to actually attempt to gain the real skills. So like you can watch a YouTube video of how to do something, but no one goes out.
There you go. So you know how to do it, but we don't have any experience like DJ said. And you're not going to retain that information because you just learn it for a second and then it's gone. This is the reason why our attention spans are so low today. This is the reason why most people can't sit through a live stream with a mirror talking to them without being distracted like Shadow. Shadow. You see, most people can't sit through a live stream and hear me speak because then they got to do something else. I'm just kidding. I'm always attacking Shadow, guys. I swear I love him. I swear I'm just messing with you. Shadow, you were probably writing something down. I'm sorry.
No, I'm painting.
How's that? I still got feedback?
Not as bad.
No, you're fine. No.
How's everybody?
Let the poor kid clip his toenails. Wait, let me get my voice of reason. Let's hear you. What do you have to say on this?
So just to chime in about the whole manly thing, I think a lot of people easily accept disregarding the standard because it's easier to be a failure and not take accountability for it. So case in point, a person come out and say, oh, I'm a single mom and I'm doing all this and I don't need no man because such and such. When in reality, men built the world. While you were sitting back, doing your nails, making your makeup videos or whatever, men are out. We either killed, captured, or tamed all threats. That's the only reason why you're able to run around and say, hey, I'm a strong, independent woman. Well, strong, independent woman, who have you killed? Who have you captured? Who have you tamed? But as long as people keep these simps, keep trying to say that men and women are equal. I'm married. I'm the head of this household. My wife isn't a slave, but put it this way. She has my last name. So in essence, I do own her.
Let's go.
Because put it this way, when you go to a company and you walk in there and you work for Ameritech or whoever, what are you wearing? You're wearing that McDonald's logo and all this or whatever. Hey, they call the shots. You work for them.
That's right.
I ain't got her last name. She's got my last name.
That's right.
So what that means is ultimately she's subservient and thus I own her. Now, most people and some men will say that I'm sexist, that I'm being toxic masculinity, but
Mhm.
toxic masculinity, if we all dye our hair pink and we all start doing all this other stuff, we got a billion Chinese, a billion Arabs or whoever ready to come over here and take over.
Oh, we
Then
ready.
what you gonna say?
Now the Arabs ready.
You want to go? You want me to go back to being toxic masculine again?
Yeah. No, they do. Like a certain country in the desert gets threatened, and suddenly they want toxic men again because they need them.
At the moment that we get invaded, the moment that I hate to say this, guys, but the moment that they say the Taliban is coming, all of a sudden, oh no, what happened, Voice of Reason? I think his internet is messing up. He'll be back. But yeah, the moment that the Taliban is coming over, all of a sudden, where are the men? I think it was Cat Williams who said, "You don't want an America without Mexicans and Black people." He said because without the Mexicans and Black people are essentially the minorities, that America would be weak. That's what he says. It's just a joke, but
I mean,
I think
it's
what
not.
he should have said, huh?
It's not entirely wrong anymore. From the Hispanic communities are a lot more tight knit. They're a lot more traditional. They breed those kinds of values in young men. And then with the Black population, I'm going to actually not touch on that because there's no way in hell I don't come off
I was
sounding
waiting.
racist. So
I was like, just do it. If you don't want to do it, I'll do it. I would say the Black
Okay. Okay.
whatever. They
Okay.
will be
So
out there. One second, Voice of Reason.
you're in
They'll be
luck.
out there. If they need to fight,
I turn my camera on to this for this. I turn my
I
camera
love
on to
how
this so
people
everybody
just
can
talk
see
over me.
that I'm Black. I'm sorry.
Wait. Don't speak over me. I'm gonna give you a chance, Voice of Reason.
Sorry,
Like,
Amira.
God, please. I was trying to give you, but go ahead. Go ahead now. You say you turn on your camera so you can show everybody that you're Black. Go ahead.
So, just to piggyback off what this guy was going to say before he gets canceled,
Oh God.
the whole Black Lives Matter thing, the whole affirmative action thing, all of this crying and all this stuff, basically said all the white supremacy, whatever, all this. If I'm saying that Shadow is better than me because he's white and thus is employing white supremacy, then by definition, I'm saying that I'm inferior.
Exactly.
So
this is why he's the voice of reason.
So how am I supposed to go and see my wife and say, "Hey, baby, let's get it on. Let's do this. Let's do that," or whatever. Or I come in, she say, "Hey, I need some money for this and that or whatever." Let me turn this camera back off. I'm kind of jumping around, but
I wish you would sit down, Voice of Reason.
I know. I'm just running back and forth. So how am I supposed to say that I'm the king of the castle if I'm saying that another man is stronger than me?
Preach.
Why should you follow me whatsoever if I'm telling you flat out that another man is more powerful than I am?
And not because of his merits, but only because of his skin tone.
Yeah,
because
actually,
of his skin tone.
Yeah, you phrasing it that way actually let me think of a way to say what I wanted to say without coming off racist. The majority of Black Americans nowadays, and thank you for that, and thank you very much for that, Voice of Reason. I don't like being canceled, and I don't want to get Amira's channel taken down. Black Americans don't have the same hang-ups that white American men do. They don't fear being masculine. They don't fear being the dominant person in a situation, whereas young white men have been groomed throughout most of their life to be defective girls in a situation, sexist as it is for me to say, in a lot of situations, whether you want to talk traditionally, historically, or even modern day, women are more reserved and arguably in some situations more submissive. So if you have young men being told to be defective women, they're going to be more submissive. If you take fathers and either make them effeminate or you make them absent, a young man is going to be more like his mother. If you badger them and say you're never allowed to have any sort of achievement because that makes you bad, They're never going to seek excellence, which means they always view themselves as either equal or inferior to everyone else. So you don't have that in the Black American community. You don't have that in the Hispanic American community or the Asian American community, which is why America needs them, because the majority population is not able to do that.
Go ahead, Will.
Yes, kill it.
Oh no, just what PJ said. I just said facts, but Shadow's right about, I mean, I'm from like I said, the South, so like the white men are as masculine as anybody, so it's not like California. But when I travel to like East Coast, it's a different kind of white people out there. They're more of the lanky type. They more of the like whatever the wife says, the more of the boomer types. And so I don't know. It's different there than I've seen down here, but yeah, I mean, white guys down here are just as normal as everybody. So
I get it. And I'm hearing all of you out, and I can't help but to agree with this, because, Voice of Reason does bring up the point that when we talk about emasculation, I think the Black man is emasculated, but in a different way than the white man. The white man is emasculated because for him, they don't want him to be masculine, because anytime he's masculine, people feel like they are the ones that are victimized by him. I'll give you an example. The Black community might say when the white man is too masculine that they feel victimized, or women will say, oh, when the white man is too masculine, we get ignored and we get victimized because they just overrun us, or what have you. Everybody feels that when the white man is masculine that they're going to get victimized somehow or in some way. In the case of the Black community, they are emasculated. Black men are emasculated. I believe, this is just my belief, but I believe that this is a plan in order to create a division between the Black man and the Black woman, because there's no better way to do this but to create a system in that the woman is elevated above the man, which is completely the opposite way. That's opposite day, just like hyenas. Hyenas are the same, but you see how the hyena male is treated. He's treated like garbage, absolute garbage. The worst thing that you can be born as is a hyena male. Anyway, back to humans. I think this is why they do this, because they want that division. They want that strife, because there's nothing more powerful than a family. There's nothing more powerful than a woman who knows how to be a woman and a man who knows how to be a man and lead his household, because that creates, of course, we all know what it creates. Anyway, aside from that, this is why I believe that this is the case. And it's not the case for white men, because in the white man's household, yes, it could be damaging for them to not be together. But because white people, I hate to say this, they have their nation, they have their things already foundational. Everything that we see in America is stemmed from white culture. Whether people believe that white culture is a thing or not, it is a thing. White people have culture, and you live it every day. Every time you put your hand out to shake somebody's hand, white culture. Every time you put your hands up like this, that's white culture. All your mannerisms, your gestures, the reason why you sit at certain places instead of standing, the reason why you eat the way you do, that is white culture, and you don't even know that you're living it, because you wouldn't know if you come to the Middle East, the things that you do look weird to us. As Middle Easterners, we see your culture because you don't see it, but we see it because you're not like us. Anyway, I wanted to go, wait, Shadow, I'll get you. Yeah. I just wanted to make my last point about family division and how it doesn't work the same in the white community that the family be divided like it is in the Black community, because of the social structure in America. I believe that the Black family is the thing, I would say, is the most binding thing for them to get ahead. And I believe that's the reason why it is attacked so hard and so harshly in America by those that, if you want to argue that there are people that, or powers that be, that wish that they not be strong. And I believe that happened back in, what's his name? Edward. What's his name? What was that president? Winslow? Was it Winslow?
Woodrow?
No, not JFK. Shadow. No, but anyway, I think it was Winslow or another, wasn't it?
Woodrow Wilson?
Yeah, Woodrow Wilson. Yeah, wasn't it him? One of them. I don't
know what point you're trying to make.
You guys know what I'm talking about. The one who said we'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. I got you,
that was
John.
Biden.
I got you, John. Who was that president? I forgot who it was.
Oh, Lyndon B. Johnson.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Thank you. Who he said, I'll have those Negroes voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And the way he did it was by separating the man and the woman, because
He
men
said,
are typically,
he said the next two generations.
the men are typically more inclined to vote conservative, and women, because they get promised all these free things and welfares and all of this, they tend to vote more towards the liberal side because it looks soft, it looks more emotional, it looks like more caring and all of that. And the right looks too harsh and non-caring and so on. All right, I'm done.
Yep, no worries.
Hi, John.
How you doing? A long time no see. You have to bear with me. I just got over COVID, so I'm still a little nasal.
Okay, everybody put your masks on. Put your masks. What we won't do. Everybody put your masks on. What we won't do is get internet coverage. Shadow.
You said put the mask on. All I got is a paintball
cool
mask.
I thought you guys would like my shirt.
Masculine pride.
Oh, that's a good shirt.
That's a nice shirt. Guys, check out his channel. John Levia has a channel. It's called Serious and Silliness. Check him out. He does mostly content for men and mostly content about bodybuilding, marriage, life of men in general, health.
I have two channels now. I separated them. One is specifically for bodybuilding, and the other one has been more of about I changed it to Serious and Silliness Outcasts. It's basically an interview show for people that don't fit more into society. I changed it because it just seems to be a lot of content. This topic just seems to be a little bit, flooded. So even though I believe in what you guys are doing, it was like more of a business change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I still keep on top of the stats, and that was my original idea, was to talk about men and women and how family structures fall apart and so on and so forth. I just want to go back a little bit. I was listening to what you guys said before about the white community.
Mm.
The white community is falling apart. It's not what it was.
Yeah.
I grew up in a very traditional Italian community. I am second generation. And I can tell you, even after two generations, it's not even close to being like it's me and my brothers are the last of the Mohicans, like my generation, Gen X, the millennials and Gen Z, even the Italians have been becoming more and more feminized and so on and so forth. The women are divorcing men at incredible rates. I mean, I have a good friend at work, Vito, who's obviously Italian, and his wife, after 30 years, left him. They were together since 19. They were 19 years old. She left him, and she got the house and the kids, and of course, the money. And he had to go live in his cousin's basement because his father had passed and his mother had retired down south. It wasn't Florida; it was like Virginia or something like that. And he has to commute to work in New York City every day. So the closest relative was his cousin in Pennsylvania, and he was living in his basement. And after 19 years, she just didn't want to be with him anymore. And it was, this is how bad it got. Okay. I work for the DEP. There's a New York City agency. The DEP is the Department of Environmental Protection. So I'm a sewer worker, right? His paycheck was so low. It was garnishing. They were garnishing his wages, obviously. His paycheck was so low that the DEP actually blocked the amount of money that was coming out of his check. And they actually notified the judge and said no person could live on $200 a week. Now my base salary is $100,000 a year. That doesn't count overtime. That doesn't count holidays. That doesn't count. I clear anywhere between 120 and 140 just from my job. Right? That doesn't count YouTube or my side work or anything like that. So after all that he was taking home $200 a week, and then the DEP actually stopped it. So when they went back to court, the judge said to them, okay, they don't want to garnish that much from you, but you're going to owe it at the end of, you're going to owe a one lump sum at the end of the alimony or spousal maintenance. So then his lawyer made a arrangement with her lawyer, and it would be cheaper if he would just pay for her lawyer instead of that one lump sum. So they decided to do that. So in the end, she got the alimony and her lawyer paid for by him. He sees his kids 6 times a month. No, four times a month. 6 times a month if you want it, like Tuesday nights, I think, like a couple hours. And then he was staying in his cousin's basement. And this is not uncommon. And I'm obviously part of the white community, obviously. I mean, like I said, I'm a little bit more traditional, but I see it all the time. And I even see it with my nieces, and I see the guys that they're picking, and they're picking more feminized guys. They're picking guys that they could basically, dominate.
Walk over.
Yeah. And I'm just going to speak the truth, right? The majority of interracial couples are, especially where I am in New York and New Jersey, are white women with black men. You usually see Spanish people sticking together. You see Asian people sticking together. Black girls, generally speaking, hate that shit, right? They usually want to be with their own, and they hate. But I always see white girls with black guys. And
even down here.
And my personal opinion is because, and especially because I'm in the fitness world, especially in the bodybuilding fitness world, almost every black bodybuilder I've interviewed has a white wife. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. What I'm saying is, I think
it leaves a whole demographic by itself.
Yeah, and I think two leaves 2 demographics.
Well, no, not really, because white men are going to Asian women.
Yeah, but not in the but not in the droves. Yeah, that's true. I have 3 friends at work that got divorced and went to the Philippines and married girls. And once again, one guy was Dominican, one guy was Filipino, but he was born here, and another guy was white. And they all got divorced. They were all filed, their wives filed, and then after some time they wanted a wife, and they went to the Philippines and brought home a traditional wife. And they're very happy now, but they went through hell. And this is what's happening. So I think there's a couple of things that's happening. I think with the white women and black girls, black guys, I think what's happening is, I think generally speaking, I think black girls are a lot more aggressive up front. But I think in the long run, it turns out to be the same. And I think a white girl is like the forbidden fruit in the black culture, right? It's like, oh wow, I have this.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah, a beautiful black girl, and then you could kind of dominate from there, right? And I see it all the time. Now, look, I have good friends that I've made through my bodybuilding channel that are interracial couples, and I don't care, but it is what it is. I see it.
But John, I want to tell you, when you're speaking about these interracial, I said this a while back, and I still continue to have this opinion. And people, I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I believe that each person should stay with their own as much as you can. I believe that we should keep our own tribes, that whites should stay with whites, Latinos stay with Latinos, blacks stay with black, Arabs stay with Arabs, and so on and so forth. The reason I say that is for many reasons, but I know that it's always going to be some that mix. But I think as a whole, the majority of people should stay with their own. What do you think?
Well, I agree for the most part. Okay. And all you have to do is look at the communities that stick together. Look at the Asian community, look at the Indian community, look at the Arabic community, look at the Jewish.
Look at the Turkish, look at the Arabs.
Right. Yeah. And their communities are flourishing. And they stick together. They have traditional morals and values. The kids go to school. They're not in trouble. I'm generalizing.
Yeah.
They're the lowest cases of runaways, the lowest cases of college and high school dropouts. They're the highest cases of success as far as finance and children and so on. And then you keep those traditions going. And then the communities become so powerful that they invest in each other and they even have political pull. I mean, you know, if you go to Borough Park, Brooklyn, or you go to Crown Heights, Brooklyn, like literally the Jewish community down there runs the entire community. It's unbelievable. And they have so much of a political pull. And if you don't have that, if you have just a mess, if you don't have community, because what really makes up community? Family. And so if you don't have family, you don't have community. Right.
But John, can I know, don't forget your point. Please don't forget your point. But I want to bring this up because I was on Lapeef Network for a long time. I don't know if you remember Lapeef.
I remember, sure. Yeah, you.
And Lapeef Network, what they were saying was that Black men were getting tired of the women. You brought up that the women are aggressive and a little bit. So Black men on that show, I was listening to them, and their complaint was that Black women were just too masculine. Black women want to dominate you. They don't want to be dominated. Black women are all about, they're taught from young to be independent and on their own, and they never trust a man. Black women had this thing, and they grown up with seeing their mothers be single mothers. So if you grow up seeing your mother being a single mother, you don't see a woman being submissive to a man. You see a woman boss. So the woman, they just grow up that way. So that's why Black men are going to white women.
100%, but it's happening in the white community too. They're trailing behind, but it's happening in the white community because what's happening.
You mean with the Asians? You mean that they're going to Asian?
What?
No, I'm saying white men are going to Asian women. Is that what you were talking about?
No. I mean, you're meaning that white girls are not respecting men as
I see what you're saying.
Because what happens is the white women are marrying guys that are feminized or betas because the philosophy for young white girls is in your 20s. Date the bad boys, date the prisoner, date the bad guy, date the alpha, run through them, and then then when you get to late 20s, early 30s, then meet the guy that's going to take care of you, which is the beta. Because any guy that's worth his salt isn't going to want a girl that's run through. And the only guys that are going to do that are the betas. So they have a weak man in the home who doesn't know how to be a masculine man, and doesn't know how to raise a son, and is just basically doing everything, is mimicking everything that his wife
does.
And then or you have single mothers raising girls, and they're basically saying the same thing. Never rely on a man.
Gotta get your own, be your boss, get your education.
So basically, what are you telling? You're telling these young girls that that men ain't shit, and that there's another one. There'll be another one coming, and then when the girls are unhappy in their marriages and they go to their mothers or they go to their weak fathers, and basically what happens is they don't say fix it, this is your family. They say if you don't love them anymore, then just leave them. And that's what they hear. They go to their girlfriends, and their girlfriends say the same thing. My wife owns a hair salon, right? My wife owns a hair, and you got to hear what they say in the hair salon, right? It's like, I'll get, they'll get into one of the girls will get into an argument with her husband. They go, you don't fuck him and this and that and so on and so forth, and you don't need him and this and that,
There's somebody out there that can love you and give you the love that you deserve.
And this is the best.
The sisterhood.
I've heard this in her salon. I've heard this. If you stay with him, I'll respect that, even though I know you deserve better. Like, how passive aggressive of a comment is that? Instead of saying this is your husband and this is your family, fix it. Right? They're saying, they're planting this seed. Like, you don't need him. I never heard once, other than like my mother or my grandmother, I never heard a woman tell a young woman, go, this is your husband and your family. Fix it. No matter what it is, fix it. What part of till death do you part don't you understand? These are the vows.
I haven't heard them since the 90s.
You're messing it up. You're messing it up because I'm trying to get this one here, Shadow over here. I'm trying to get him to have some babies, some white babies. You're messing it up now. He stopped texting the girls that he was texting just now. So, John.
Yeah. Shadow, I'm the guy the girls that want to run through, and you're the guy that they want to marry. And you got to change that shit.
I agree. I agree. I am trying to fix that. That's 1/3 of the reasons I'm trying to join the Marine Corps. Yeah, like I recognize that flaw in myself, and I'm trying to fix it.
And it was all, the way my father raised me and my brothers. Today is so, like, if I tell you stories, and I will, if I tell you that, people look at me like I have 6 heads. But back in the 80s when we were growing up, it was like 80s into the 90s. It was normal. Like, for example, we grew up in Brooklyn. And we're like in Bensonhurst and Brooklyn, it was mostly Italian. And my father was a typical Brooklyn street guy, just like in Goodfellas, Casino, and the whole thing. Okay. And I remember my brother Michael, my oldest brother. I have two older brothers. My brother Michael was 19, and my middle brother was 15. And my brother Michael, every weekend, it was $15. Would take $15 from my father because they would go to a whorehouse in Coney Island, him and all his friends. Now this is pre-AIDS, so on. So the worst thing you had to worry about was herpes. And they would go out, they would go drink, and they would go to the whorehouse, right? So one day my brother Michael says to my father, I need $15. I'm going with the guys. So he gives him 30. And he says, take your brother Dominic with you, because he was only 15 and he hadn't gotten laid yet, right? But this was the mentality. It was like, because he knew that sex had to get out of his system. Because if you don't get that out of his system, the first girl that you lay is going to be the girl you fall in love with, right? And that seems to be like what happens with guys that are very beta or very weak. They become manipulated and targeted from girls that they know can do that. And that's
you see, John, that's good hearing it from a different culture, but in our culture, we see it the opposite way. We see it as starting them young, being addicted to pugniti. You don't want them addicted to. Yes, I'm sorry, John. Pugniti is a word. Sorry, but we don't want them starting off young being addicted to pugniti. We want them to focus on the better things in life instead of getting them like that. This is why we believe in our culture. And this is the reason why, we have marriages and we marry them young, because we're like, you'll be fine. You'll get married when you're like 19.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, no, I fully understand. But this was more of a knock around masculine Brooklyn street thing. And if you would say, my mother is very sick now, she's 88 and she's got Alzheimer's. And so she's not doing well. But if you would have asked her, she would have agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what she thought real men did, but it was more like, it was thought of when a man gets married, he devotes his life to you. Sex isn't what he devotes to you. He devotes his protection, provision, and he provides for you,
Right.
financially. And that's how a man traditionally always showed his loyalty to his woman,
Right.
and in return, your woman gives you purity, in the bedroom and raises you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole idea is like the man, has to kind of get it. When my father was in the military, he was drafted. He was first generation. My grandparents were from Sicily, and he would go to prison. And I'm going to use some crude language, but this was the early 60s, and every weekend they would have a weekend pass. And all the guys, no matter what part he was in the Philippines, he was in Hawaii, he was in Alabama, he was in, I forgot what other parts of the world, right? Because it was like he was in the service for 2 years. And his drill sergeant used to say, if my soldiers can't fuck, they can't fight. And he wanted to know that they all went to the whorehouse and got with them. And today you say that to a young guy, and they look at you like you're disgusting, like like they can't believe it, and that's because they're raised by either weak men or single mothers.
But that's the thing about letting men be men, and this is a part of the reason why I've always said that women cannot raise a man, a woman cannot raise a man, because those are the lessons that only men can take a boy aside and train him into manliness. Right. We can't do that as women. We're like, oh no, not my son. Those whorehouse women, we never know what they have.
Yeah. So look, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just giving you examples of how like hyper masculine the generations were before us.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's at the point where the guys are like feminized. I'll talk like
I want to get other people to speak too, because you kind of took over. Larry just entered. Larry, is there anything that you want to say on what John is speaking about, or what Shadow or I are talking about? And Will, sorry, Will.
Well, I just got here, so I missed a lot of the stream.
Okay, get out. Let's get Larry up out of here. See, he just came on like he has something to say, and then just gonna say, "I just got here."
Could I actually articulate something just to like run it by John? Do you mind if I call you John?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah. So from where I'm sitting, it sounds like you were discussing how your generation and previous generations they would have masculinity, but they would temper it into something that's actually usable. Whereas modern generations repress it, like it's dangerous. So it's like a loaded gun. Like you have a loaded gun because you need it. Modern generations, we hide it. We don't want to see it because we think it's ugly, not a tool. Is that a fair way to describe it?
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
You know, the society blames it on toxicity, and it's all in your face. I mean, you watch any television program, or I was watching Fargo with my wife, and I used to love that show. And this season, I had to shut it off. I couldn't watch it. You know, every white guy was the devil. He's either the devil or he's weak, and you know, every woman is noble. And it's just like, and it was just like, but it's so in your face, obvious that the propaganda that they're pushing, and it's like, you know, I don't get it, and it just blows me away. All the strong masculine men like beat their wives in the show, or murderers or killers or drug addicts, or you know what I mean, and then. The one guy that's married and completely devoted to his wife is this weak of a man. And this has been pushed for the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah. Absolutely the last 20, 30 years. Like and sorry to cut you off, but this is a point I always bring up. Early 2000s television, like Wizards of Waverly Place or Good Luck Charlie, those types of like Disney Channel shows, the men are universally stupid, or if they're not stupid, they're evil. And then the women are either stupid, typically the mothers, or they are villains, or they are the super intelligent, always going to win every situation that they're in type characters. And that's like what my generation has grown up on. Mm-hmm. And it's it's disgusting because you have raised this generation in that way. And sorry, that's basically what you're talking about. I'm just
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let me piggyback on that. The funny thing of what you're saying, Shadow, it's not funny, but regardless of what they put on TV, it's an opposition of real life and nature itself. They've programmed a lot of young people to, like telling men to, telling boys to be weak and do all these things, but men are inherently more aggressive and strong, and it's going to come out regardless of how they try to repress it. Women do not like weak men. And even amongst all of the feminism and all the things that you're seeing, what are you seeing? One of the major problems right now with men trying to date women is the women are saying, well, I want this guy to do this and do that. And then when they get that guy, they're like, what the hell is this? I want the guy that's full of testosterone, has hair on his chest and all this stuff. So they can try to program people all as much as they want, but it comes down to the parents. The
problem with that is like when the women get the masculine man, they try to feminize him like the beta. They try to belittle him.
Yeah, it's a shit test.
And so
I just walk.
It's a test.
Yeah. Well, what happens is if a woman wants to know that her man is very masculine, so basically she'll test him, right? And there's only two ways. For me, there's basically only one way to deal with that. And that's, if this is your wife, ignore it. If it's not your wife, then you walk away. But it's any woman that is not raised in a traditional way, generally speaking, and has a severe manipulative side, will try to shit test a masculine man. I mean, I've had it done to my face in first conversations. Because they see me, they see my conversation, they see how I speak, they see how dominant I am, and I've had it happen in the first conversation. I mean, I've had this, like when I was single before I met my wife, like 12 years ago. I was dating, and I was dating with a purpose. I knew what I wanted to, And I used to live with it was me and I had an apartment in New York, and it was me and my dog. I used to have a pit bull named Scotch, right? And I was on the phone, met this girl. She was really attractive. First conversation, she said to me, now she was very attractive and she was 30, which is a red flag right there, right? And she said to me, do you ever want children? And I said, yeah, if I meet the right girl and I get married, absolutely, I want children. And she said, what would you do with your dog? And I said, what do you mean what I would do with my dog? Well, she's like, well, you don't know, you can't trust dogs around kids. And I said, my dog is fine around kids, right? And she was basically, whether she knew it or realized it or not, she was testing me. She wanted to see what answer I would give her. And the answer I gave her was, it was nice talking to you. Maybe we'll talk again sometime. And I hung up. And she basically, she wanted to see my answer. And she either knew, if I would have said,
The dogs are dangerous.
dog, if you and I had children, I would get rid of the dog if it bothered you that much. Then she knew that she had me, right? And women do this. Women do this all the time. Women do this intentionally, but they don't even realize it's part of their instincts. I mean, my nephew got married, and before he had kids, he wanted to work out with me. So we used to go to the gym together before he had kids. And he got married, and he started buying protein powder, and he started buying pre-workout, and it all came from Amazon or whatever. And he's unpacking it, and his wife looks at him and goes, "What are you, like a meathead now? You're gonna be like a bodybuilder meathead?" It's like, the guy just wants to go to the gym and get in shape, you know? And he just ignored her and went to the gym. And this happens, all the time, and this is how girls react, unless they're either like grow up like Amira in a very traditional background where they realize how men are supposed to be, or they just respect, a man. My wife has tried things like this. My wife in a small way has said things like that, and I've shut it down. Stupid things. This is how women behave. And as a man, you just have to understand how women work and work around it. Like, my father used to play cards 3 times a week. He used to play 3 times a week. He used to play pinochle on Sunday nights and Wednesdays, and then he goes to go to a poker room in Brooklyn and play poker all night long, no matter what. So it was Easter one time, and it was Sunday, and we were all eating Easter dinner, which is a big holiday in Catholics, right? And his friends call him up, and they used to play in his friend's garage. And then he's on the phone with his friend Louis, and he says, "Oh yeah, all right, whatever." And my mother goes, "You're not going to go play cards. The kids are here. It's Easter and blah blah blah." An hour later, he left and went to go play cards. He just ignored her,
But the test, John, well, I hear you. You're good, but you take over because you speak and then you go into stories. You go into storytelling. But hold on one second,
Yeah.
Shadow. I see you want to say something. Give me one
No, I
second.
don't.
Give me 1 second.
I didn't even take pre-workout. I haven't gone to the gym in a week. You just when I take
You didn't do your smelling of the bath salts.
No. Yeah.
Wait.
Somebody else could go. Sorry.
What I'm understanding is the testing that women do is to test you to see if an established rule or established thing that you have in your life, if you will change it for her, or if you will bow down to whatever she said. That's the testing, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And immediately it's gratifying if you give in, but over time she loses respect for you.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Burr does a bit on this, and he says, you're like on the beach and you're eroding. I don't like that shirt. Don't wear it. Throw it away. And, I don't like that friend. Don't hang out with him. And before you know it, you're on a piece of a beach, just floating in the water and by yourself.
I know girls that did that test on men and walked away immediately. One girl got up and left him on a date.
Black girl?
Walked away on the spot.
Black girl?
Yep.
Yeah.
John.
Oh, but there was another one too. It was she was Latina.
Yeah. Well,
and then the white girls, unless you were, especially back then, unless you were like a Tupac type of character or something like that, you couldn't even get in the door.
Yeah. Now today it's different. I see a lot of white girls with black guys. It's more so than any other interracial mixed couple.
Yes.
It's more so.
You're speaking to someone with experience when you're talking to Larry.
My wife is white.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But if you guys haven't seen John's wife, she's gorgeous.
Thank
She's
you. My wife
beautiful.
is great. Thank you very much. My wife is great.
She is.
Yeah. So I married, a relatively traditional woman. She grew up in a Greek family. I was engaged once before that to an Italian girl, and I screwed that over.
That happens.
Well, why don't you shout out your channel, because I'm about to take off here because I'm at the 2 hour mark. Why don't you shout?
First of all, I apologize for talking too much, but it's I have 2 channels: Serious and Silly is Outcast, who I think the panel will enjoy. And the other one is Serious and Silly is Bodybuilding. It's more so the actual sport of bodybuilding, but I do get into the techniques and strategy and nutrition as well. So you could just check it out.
check him out, guys. He has a great channel. He interviews bodybuilders. He interviewed porn stars. He interviews basically everybody in the red pill section of
Come
the
back,
world.
John.
That's what
Come
he
back.
does. Welcome back. Yeah, thank you, Larry. Welcome back, John. Welcome
Amira,
back.
thank you very much. I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, I'm going to take off now. Thank you, John. I'm going to take off, guys. Thank you, Will, for joining me. Bye-bye. Thank you, Shadu. Shadu.
Night,
Thank you,
y'all.
Shadu. Is there anything that you want to shout out before you go?
Nothing really.
Okay. All right. So you gonna get somebody pregnant, right? You gonna get married and get no? Don't squint your eyes at me. You know what I'm saying.
What's the
Listen.
deadline? What is the deadline?
The deadline is December.
No, probably not.
We need 2
Bye.
babies by December. No, Shadow, get back over here. I am gonna beat you. He just went off on me. I'm still talking to you. Okay. That's okay, Shadow. That's okay, because you're gonna come back. He did not just peace out on me like that. The disrespect. I am your elder, Shadow. You must show respect. Oh, you see, the youth these days, they don't listen. I'm trying to tell him for his own good, for his own race, he needs to get to work, and he just pieces out on me. See, that's the problem. This is the reason why we're going down as a country. This is the reason why we're going down as a nation, because of people like Shadow. They don't want to hear anything. They don't want to listen. That's okay. That's okay, Shadow. That's okay. That's okay. Because next time, what? No. Shadow, get back over here. I'm not done yelling at you yet. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I had way too much fun today, but I'm not done yet. I'm not done. I want to shut this down, and I want to start anew. We want to start anew. So anybody who wants to hang out late with me tonight is the night, because I have plenty of energy on my side. And I want to party. Anyway, so I want to do tonight the Sovereign Citizen stream that I was supposed to do last week that I completely forgot about. So what I want to do is watch that video with you guys tonight. I will shut this one down. Give me a small break, maybe like 30 minutes to an hour. You guys can rest, go eat, talk to your wife, do whatever you guys need to do. Maybe Shadow can text some potentials. And then I will come back. And then we can come back more comfortable. I'm going to come back in sweats and hoodie. You guys, I imagine you guys will do the same. Let's come back comfortable and let's watch some Sovereign Citizen mess. Deal? All right. So then I will see you guys soon. Within like 30 minutes to an hour, I will see you guys soon. I will put up the link in 20, 30 minutes. Thank you guys for joining me tonight on this first stream of the night. And with that, I yield my time. Good night, guys. I'm going to put on some music. Why not? I'm in a happy mood today. I've seen people I haven't seen in a very long time. So you guys have to understand why that makes me happy. I'm glad to see you again, John. Thank you for coming back. Bye, guys.